Are you and your gear bug out ready? Well, in today's video, I'm going to show you some of the things that I do to train to get ready for bugging out. Stick around. So I'm out today hiking around on some private property that I've gotten permission to come out on. I'm really fortunate to have that happen. That doesn't happen all the time. It's a fantastic piece of property, a really nice mix of hardwoods, all kinds of resources back here. And what I wanted to do today is I wanted to get out with my gear that I put together specifically for bug out situations. And weather is starting to turn warm, so I've been switching things out, loading stuff up. I'm testing a new pack that I did a video on, I think a week or so ago, on a piece of military surplus that I dyed. I'm testing that. I'm testing out a new chest pack from 511, checking that out. Some other gear that I want to try out. So this is a fantastic opportunity to come out here because I'm not going to be interrupted. There's not people coming in and out. There's not a lot of noise from the roads. I mean, I'm far back in the woods pretty good. So really a great day to do this kind of stuff. And it's so important that you get out and you test your gear. You can load up all the bags you want, but if they just set at your house and you never go out and try them, you are going to fail when the situation happens that you actually have to do something with this stuff. So, you know, coming out, setting up shelters, starting a fire, eating food, cooking food, testing knives, all those different skills that you need to thrive and survive when you're outdoors and trying to get by. So we're gonna get into it. Stick around. It's gonna be a really cool video. All right, so I think the first order of business right now is to set up a shelter. I've got a couple different options for trees to pick from to nestle my tarp up into. It's super wet out here. We've had a lot of rain. The ground is very, very soft. I am uphill, but this ground is really spongy and I haven't found any dry ground yet. It's just the way it is. So what I'm gonna do is, I think there's two trees right here that look pretty good distance. No widowmakers that I can see. I need to clear the ground and then start setting up my shelter. So if you watch my videos regularly, you saw the video on me modifying this pack. This is an Air Force issue multi-mission pack. It came in that horrific digital tiger stripe. I dyed it with RIT dye, some greens and browns. Came out fantastic. It's a really nice pack. It's about 40 liters. Has a lot of capacity. Now, one thing that I always do when I get to the woods with my pack is I use this system. I've shown this before. Basically all this is a piece of rope that's maybe 6 feet long, folded over to create a loop, and then knots every 8 inches or so, and then a heavy duty carabiner that's load rated. And then what this happens is this goes around a tree, and then I can hang my pack. I kind of like to put it up at a level that I can work from. So there's my rope. Now I'm not having my pack sit on the ground, getting wet. I don't have to lean over to dig for things. Everything is very accessible. I can just go in here, pull out what I need, and get to it pretty quickly. So I've got my line kit, and then got my tarp. So I got a 9x9 tarp. It's a Helikon Tex. I have a pre-made ridgeline. This is called a continuous loop ridgeline. I use these all the time. Look them up on how to make one. Very simple to set up. And once you have it built, they're very easy to deploy. Okay, first thing you do, you take your line and hook it in. This carabiner, loop that around your tree. You want to set your height that you're looking for. And you're going to come down here. I'm going to go around this tree. I'm going to just tie a very temporary loop knot just to hold this in place. So just looping that down. So now I can get my tarp out. I usually run A-frames when I'm camping out, because that gives me shelter on both sides. It provides the most shelter from rain and weather. It helps contain heat pretty well. But for this situation, I think I'm gonna do something a little bit different and do just more of a lean-to style. So now you take your tie out and you clip it into this carabiner. Come down here. And now I have a carabiner on a prusik. I'm going to clip that in to this side. You can pull this line tight, pull that prusik tight, and get a nice tension on this. And then this line can wrap. I've got enough extra line I can wrap around several times. And then just finish it off with a bowline or anything that you are comfortable tying. I have my stakes. These are all ready to go, set up with paracord on the ends. I'm only going to need a few, so we'll start off with 3. All right, there it is. So this is about a 9x9 tarp. I like that size, 8 feet, 9 feet, 10 feet. I like them square. This gives me a lot of options for setup, but as you can tell with this lean-to style, it goes way back there. So if I want to tuck up under here, if it starts raining, I have that option. But what I like about this is I have my front exposed so I can see my area, and I can see if any people or animals are going to be coming in to my camp. My only blind spot is the back, but I can always peek out on the sides or set up some kind of perimeter alarms or whatever. There's different options I can explore, and also with this type of setup, if I want to do my campfire right here to help keep me warm, I can do that. I can run reflective material or blankets under here to help with some of that heat. It just gives me a lot of options. So with the A-frame, super great protection from the weather, but your visibility is really limited. And in a bug out situation, I think it's really important to be able to see what's going on, because you don't know who's going to be coming. You want to be able to check that out. All right, so for sleeping on the ground, you want to make sure you have something under you, something over you, something around you. So that's what we're going to do next. I'm going to set up this ground sheet. This is a military issue casualty blanket. You know, on the civilian market, it's better known as a grabber blanket or a reflective blanket. There's many different styles of these available. This is just the military issue one. I've had this one for a very long time. I use it as a ground sheet, and I'll show you how I set this up. There are sticks everywhere, and they are hard to see with this wet ground cover. I'll do my best to get rid of this stuff. So what I want to do is I'm going to take this and lay it out. And I lay it out reflective side up. The reason being I do that is it's going to give me a little bit of heat reflection, but also the color reflects the light. So it kind of makes the inside of the shelter a little bit brighter. Now, if you want to be more stealthy, then you can flip it over to the green side. For today, since we're filming, we'll do the reflective side. And that'll give us a nice area to sit on. All right, this is my sleep system. Like I said before, it is starting to warm up. It was cold this morning, actually below freezing when I got up, but coming back here, it's already starting to warm up. It's going to be overcast today and probably maybe hit 40. So your sleep system is in that in-between stage right now. It's kind of hard to figure out what to do. One thing that I always put in all my bags, I've shown this before in other videos, take an old military sleeping pad, the foam kind, or get the blue ones from Walmart. They're super cheap, and cut them down into sitting pads and kneeling pads. They weigh nothing. They're durable. Unlike inflatable ones, they don't puncture. You can wash them off, and they provide just enough cushioning and insulation from the cold ground that actually helps. So I'm going to put this underneath my bottom because it is getting chilly. Sitting on the ground, I can feel that cold coming up. That's why it's so important to have that layer underneath you, that vapor barrier, to keep stuff from the moisture and the cold from coming up. So my sleep system, it's pretty simple. Is comprised of 3 items, 4 if you count the ground cloth. So we have a sleeping bag. This is the military warm weather bag that comes with the system. I like this bag for this kind of weather. There's enough insulation to keep you fairly warm at night if you're sleeping in your clothes and you're in a bivy bag. Like maybe 35, 40 degrees is the range. So that's my light insulation layer. And then sleeping under tarp, super important. I feel, my opinion, that you have to have a bivy sack. And the bivy sack or bivy bag comes in a lot of different forms. There are civilian ones. There is the military issue one that comes with the sleep system. You've probably seen those like in woodland camo. Fantastic bivy bag to get, actually. This is a civilian model. Got this off of Amazon. It is an AquaQuest. It is a really nice lightweight bivy bag, but what this does is it helps retain heat with that light sleeping bag. And then if for whatever reason the rain starts coming in sideways, I have extra protection in my bag and myself does not get wet. Super important. You don't want to get wet while you're sleeping. So what I do is I keep my pad inside my bivy bag. And I just keep that folded up. And it works really, really well. They all roll up together. The pad is a climate. It's just the static V. It's not even the insulated model. I unfold that, and then now I can go ahead so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my bag and I'm going to shove it down in there. And then when it's time to go to bed, get some sleep tonight, I'm ready to go. How it looks. This is how much room I have underneath here. Plenty of space. My feet are covered, my head is covered. And if I want to tuck back in deeper underneath this shelter, I certainly can. But if I have a fire going right here, it's going to keep me warm. Past few weeks, we've had a lot of high winds, crazy storms. It's been a very windy, wet winter. Not much in the way of snow, but plenty of weather, that's for sure. So a lot of downed trees. I got this little Gerber folding saw. I love this thing. It's just, it's so compact and it really does a great job. Not a ton of wood. I'm not starting a big roaring fire today. I just need to make some coffee and cook my lunch and take the chill off. So I'm testing a new knife today. This is from BeaverCraft. They make a lot of carving tools and woodworking type tools. And what's interesting is they're a company out of the Ukraine. And what kind of blew me away about this knife is it's so darn affordable. I think it's like $35 on Amazon. They just started selling these. And I got it pretty quick from the Ukraine. And it's a really nice blade. It's a blued finish. It's got a very sharp spine, and the edge on this thing is wicked sharp. It seems like almost like a convex kind of grind to it. Full tang, wood scales, so really a nice looking little knife, and it seems to be very capable. So I was going to use that today just to mess with it and see how it performs. And that wood is nice and dry on the inside, which is awesome. Splits wood pretty well. Sheath it's passable. It's not my favorite. I'll probably have a Kydex sheath made for this, or I know some people who make leather stuff too, or maybe I'll make it myself. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I'm gonna find a fairly straight angle. Here we go. Wow. All right, well. It's just taking off little super fine Shirley Temple curly cues. It's kind of gliding on that wood, not biting in at all. That's nice. Not bad. So you can see it's really important to use your gear and to test it out in different situations. So I'm processing wood. I've still got my chest rig on. I've got my radio. You know, I'm not gonna, you shouldn't be taking all that stuff off. You want to have all those items with you, so you need to get used to carrying them and doing different things. Cutting wood, working with your knife. If you have a rifle and you're carrying a rifle, you're gonna need to, carry your rifle, learn how to manipulate that around gear that you're carrying, working with the backpack on, all that stuff. It's it's just part of why we train, why it's super important to do that.